Very grim news this morning of us having lost 20 of our soldiers in the biggest and the most unprecedented face-off between India and China at the line of actual control. A statement that's been put out by the Indian Army late last night said that 20 of our personnel have been martyred in this face-off that took place at the Galwan Valley in Ladakh. The statement also said that the Indian Army is firmly committed to protecting the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the nation. As per news agency ANI, the number of those dead and injured have gone up to 43 on the Chinese side. ANI also reported that there has been an increase in Chinese chopper activity across the line of actual control to airlift casualties suffered in the Galwan brawl. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with Home Minister Amit Shah over the Chinese escalation. In a statement, the Ministry of External Affairs said that China departed from consensus to respect the LAC and that it attempted to unilaterally change status quo. MEA also said that there wouldn't have been casualties if China had respected the agreement and that India's activities are only on its own side of the line of actual control. And Rahul Kawal breaks down for you exactly what happened at the line of actual control. Remember, this is at the Galwan Valley, so he breaks it down for you in a map.
In this general area of Patrol Point 14, when the confrontation took place, some of the soldiers fell off the ledge and into the Galwan River, which is when they were exposed to sub-zero temperatures, because that's icy water. It's really cold. It's a very narrow river, but very, very cold, very, very fast. Some Indian soldiers slipped into it, some Chinese soldiers slipped into it as well. So that's essentially what happened here. So from what we've been able to gather is this, that the Chinese had agreed that there would be disengagement, and then last evening there was a verification party of 6 Bihar which went up to see whether the Chinese had actually disengaged from this Patrol Point 14 position or not. And there they found that the Chinese troops that were deployed there were actually in a very venomous kind of mood, almost as if they were itching for a fight. And anybody who knows a verification party knows that the numbers are very small. We don't know the exact numbers, but a very small party goes out to see whether the Chinese actually disengaged or not. That's when reinforcements were called in. Before that, situations got out of hand over here and there was violence. So they had barbed wires, they had rods, and it got really, really messy. Initially we were outnumbered, then more troops of the 6 Bihar came in, and by then the commanding officer was already badly injured, and as a result of which, very naturally, the 6 Bihar boys were furious, and that led to a huge escalation in the violence. And as a result of which there were heavy fatalities on the Chinese side as well. The Chinese have said, because they've suffered greater fatalities from what we gather, that they don't want to reveal the number in the public. But the Indian Army is a professional army and they don't hide fatalities. They in fact honor our dead, and therefore there is no question of this being like a COVID death which the Chinese just brush under the carpet and the whole world is scratching its head wondering what's happening. The Indians reveal the toll that they had to suffer as a result of this violence, and that stands at 20. I'm told, unfortunately, that number could potentially go up. There are more people who are critically injured, more soldiers critically injured, so that toll could potentially rise.
So we're now getting you inside details of exactly what happened to the line of actual control in Ladakh, which led to the death of 20 of our braves. Here's a blow-by-blow account of the Chinese treachery. Now on Tuesday, major generals of the two sides were scheduled to meet, and the Chinese side was supposed to move back further. With PLA troops not going back, the Indian Army team led by Colonel Santosh Babu went to hold discussions with the Chinese side. But the Chinese deliberately aggravated the situation. Without any provocation, you had PLA soldiers attacking the Indian delegation, and they had sticks, stones and clubs which had barbed wires around them. During this fight, the Indian side was outnumbered by almost a ratio of 3:1. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Indian soldiers held their ground. The commanding officer suffered serious injuries during the scuffle, which went on for more than 3 hours late in the evening. The Indian side retaliated hard, caused heavy casualties also to the Chinese. And let's explain it for you in further detail as to exactly what happened on June 15th. So the commanding officer, as I mentioned earlier, the commanding officer of the Indian Army led an unarmed group to the Chinese camp. This was essentially to patrol. The Chinese army, in an unprovoked attack, charged at these soldiers with rocks that were wrapped in barbed wires. They had metal clubs, they had wooden logs also, which had nails around them. Immediately, the Indian troops took the CEO, the commanding officer, and the Havildar back, leaving behind some injured troops who were then taken captive instantly. After 40-odd minutes, now the same unit of the Indian Army, led by a major and a captain of company strength troops, returned and assaulted the Chinese post. We understand that 55 to 56 Chinese soldiers were seriously assaulted. Many casualties were also inflicted. There was a brigadier level Chinese officer on the post. He waved for peace to stop the fighting. The Indian Army quickly took back the captives, our captives, and then pushed Chinese army back. Now, the assault was followed by multiple colonel-level talks as well. And for now, the army is now at these ITBP posts. They've taken charge of the ITBP posts in the area.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.